everyone, Theresa here, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to December Daily Day 1, and for today's process video I wanted to share with you my reason why page and also my day 1 for 2021. And so let's just jump right in. For the reason why page, this is probably going to be what you see when you open the album. And so what I did was I took the 4x8 shipping tags from Ali Edwards product release this year. I took the digital ones and brought them into a Photoshop canvas of 8.25 by 11 and placed the tags how I wanted them, added my journaling, and printed them out on vellum. And then I went through my paper stash and just found a solid red. This is from Felicity Jane, and I decided that I wanted to put these little vellum shipping tags onto the red cardstock, and that's going to be my opening page. And so a couple of things I did before printing, and I'll let you see here what the screen looked like in Photoshop before I printed it. So one is I flipped the top two tags are flipped around, so they're upside down. The third tag is flipped around, and it's also clipped to a second tag underneath it so that the music pattern showed, but the little punch, the tag punch, is facing downward. And then I also added the reason why word art. Those are, I went back in my digital stash to find that. It's from 2014, I think. And I just added that several times onto the tag. There's also the circle word art that I added to the grid tag, the floral, the music notes, and also the journal tag. And I just added those. There's a weight in the original file, and what I do to recolor those is just add a layer and fill with black, and then create your clipping mask over top of that word art layer, and so that way they pop a little bit. Originally I had those on the background underneath the tags, but I decided to keep them here. And so at this stage I'm gonna let me just find my paper trimmer here, and I'm going to trim these out and attach them, and that will be the my reason why page. And then I'll come back and talk a little bit about my process for day 1. So I wanted to pop back on here and show you after the stitches, or sort of in the process of stitching. And so I just went straight across the bottom and the top of the page. And I'm embracing the mess. It's a little messy, but you can see where some of the adhesive still shows through, and also where the little ribbons just need a little bit of stitching down there so that they'll stay in place. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little adhesive remover. It's somewhere over here. Let me find that for you. Here it is. This little tool, and I'm going to remove the adhesive, and now it'll stay in place now that one row of stitches is in place, and that way I can run it through across the top of the tags and secure these little ribbon ends. And just note about the ribbons that I've used. This one is from Home Goods this year. It's a Martha Stewart twine. This one is a really pretty, almost like a rope, from Felicity Jane from the Bella kit. And these two have been in my stash forever. I've used that teal one in December Daily almost every year for like 4 years or something. So I'm going to go, I'm going to clean up the adhesive now and stitch across the tops of the tags, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks finished. Okay, so just coming back to show you what it looks like now. There's just one more thing that I wanted to do, and that is to add a couple of embellishments here and possibly here and here. I'm not sure yet, but I wanted to show you what it looked like with the stitching completed. And you can see there's a little bit of overlap here. That's okay. And on the back side, I've trimmed all the threads, and I went ahead and put a bit of just regular Scotch tape on the back to help seal in those stitches. Of course, I'm going to have to cover this with something, and so I'll figure that out when I get to day one and start working on that. So let me grab a couple of embellishments here and see what we want to add just for fun. And I've just got a couple of little containers with some of my Allie Edwards goodies in them. And one thing else I was thinking about was those dimensional embellishments. Aha! Here we go. Stars, and the little houses. But I thought about just having a little dimension on the page. And that's a fun way to use these as well. This is so pretty. Ooh. And what else have we got? The little chipboard shapes. The little houses. Oh, that's cute. There's the little stockings. Oh. There's the little patches too. The little vinyl. a little bit too big. That'd be kind of cute. Little house. Do it like that so that they look like they're a part of that collage. Ooh, and then do one of these hearts here. That red is a little bit off though. That one could go there. That may be pretty. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's put those down. And add this. There. Well, that makes for a fun dimensional page. So I'm going to move on to day 1, and I'm going to fast forward for you so that you can see that happening. Okay, so the nice thing about doing foundation pages, or at least some foundation pages, is that some of the work has been already done for you. And for day 1, I had already decided that I wanted to use these speech bubbles. I layered them on top of the Studio Calico transparency, and this provided a cute little space for 6 photos, 1 for each person in our family. So all I had to do was to print out the photos of each of us that are going to go on top of those speech bubbles, and then I also printed out a little something about each of us to go on the back of the transparency. This is what that looks like on the back. And so all I have to do really is cut those out, punch them, put them on adhere them onto the vellum, and then I also have to figure out what I want to do on the back of the Reason Why page, and that's just that there. And I may just make it really simple and just do one of the pattern papers. So I'm gonna fast forward now and let you see the process for pulling all of this together. Just a little product note here. The circle punch that I'm using is 1 3/4 inches. And the reason I chose that is because on the front where I'm doing our photos, it gives a little bit more space for the photo itself. It's a slightly bigger picture. You could absolutely do a 1 1/2 inch punch to fit inside these circles, and that would be okay too. And then for the rectangles, for Emberlin's photo, I did a 1 3/4 inch square, and for mine, I'll have to check back and see what size I did for mine, check on the blog post and I'll add it there. And just to sort of freehand it for the rectangles. And also, this was kind of a fun idea on the back of the rectangles that had the stitched star and the 2021. On the back of those, I did those little layered stars. And I noticed when I photographed the transparency that on the 2021, you can kind of see the star behind it. And I thought that was so much fun. And one of those charming things about transparencies that I find every time I use them. And then the last little thing that this page needed was, of course, the number for day 1. You could, of course, put the number in the 2021 rectangle. But I decided to add another star here. There's never enough stars. And so then it was a matter of deciding which star, which number. And that's my process that I'm going through here. All right, so that is day 1. I thought I would just pop back on here and show you everything going back in the album. And let's see, I've got my calendar in between here. So that's going to go here. And then the calendar. And the Making Merry page. Plus my reason why. So here's where we are for day 1. And I'll go back and touch that up with liquid glue to make sure they stay. And here's where we'll pick up tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.